Governor Tate Reeves on GMA3 Monday, arguing that the state's legal challenge to Roe v. Wade should lead to an end to abortion in Mississippi.
And what I would say to people all across America is that there is an unborn American child in that womb, and that's the reason that people like me are standing up for those unborn children, because they can't stand up for themselves.
The governor continuing the state's legal argument that abortion rights should be decided in each state, not by the federal government or a high court that was sitting on the bench in 1972. Reeves also says he does not intend to restrict things like contraceptives or birth control.
I don't have any interest in going after contraceptives. I do believe that there is a next phase of the pro-life movement. I think it's incumbent upon all of us to show that being pro-life is not simply about being anti-abortion.
Our most pressing thing is to let folks know until this decision is actually entered by the court that abortion is still legal.
The ACLU of Mississippi taking aim at the governor's comments that the state is spending millions of more dollars to bolster child protective services, adoption, and foster care.
The governor bragging about Mississippi spending so much money on foster care and understanding that the federal court is ordering us to spend that money on foster care. So to me, that's like a man bragging about paying his child support that he's been ordered to by a court.
Mississippi is one of 13 states with trigger laws that would outright ban almost all abortions if Roe v. Wade is overturned.
Our state is in a situation where we do have a trigger law that will go into effect, and it's based upon an opinion that will come out of the Attorney General's office to determine if it is in fact an overturn of Roe v. Wade.
Fitch says she will not speculate on that type of ruling till she has the actual Supreme Court opinion in hand. Scott Simmons, 16, WAPT News.